All right, welcome everyone to the free UFC Bet Picks show. We are breaking down last week's fight card from October 31st, Hall versus Silva. Breaking down that whole card for you guys. We did try to upload our bet picks and picks for that show, but it just ended up we had some technical difficulties. I decided to record it on my iPhone, and that ended up being way too big of a file to do anything with. So sorry about that, because we had some great insight for you guys. But
yeah, a lot of you saw it. We put it on the IGTV.
That's right.
But yeah, some good jokes in there. The trivia question, which we're gonna do again, we're gonna just bring that trivia question to this video.
Yeah.
And everyone that was commenting and DMing us on Instagram to say that they watched, they got the client picks, Holland inside the distance, Hall Silva under 4.5 rounds. We were surprised it lasted so long. We'll talk about it, but just a super low output fight. So there was a chance that they could go the distance, but Silva just has no durability, and if Hall had any actual type of pace and volume, it would have ended way sooner. But Hall Silva under 4.5 rounds was the lock client pick of the week. We were getting that at even money, and then minus 115. I was still betting it at minus 125. So we felt really good about that. But yeah, so the trivia question will be at the end of the video for the free $25 bet. And if you just want us to send you $25 and you make the bet yourself, or if you want us to make the bet and send you the winnings, whatever you want, you just got to comment your guess, and whether you're right or wrong, you're in the raffle, and it's a cool trivia question. So stay tuned till the end for that.
Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it here. Our first fight of the night was Johns versus Natividad. Johns finished Natividad with a one-punch KO in the third round. And up until the third round, they had a pretty steady striking exchange. And then I believe he had him down right before he hit that one-punch KO. What do you think about this one, Aaron?
Yeah, it's a lot of what we expected. A lot of experts were picking Natividad. You can't blame them. They're looking for a live dog, but we were, heavy on Miles Johns. It was the whole first and second round. It was a lot of what we expected, kind of even striking. Natividad doesn't have a ton of pop. It seemed like Miles Johns' striking was more powerful. He was getting more of a reaction. He would get Natividad down. Natividad would pop right back up like a lot of people expected. And it was kind of just 10 minutes of that. And the Miles Johns by decision, looked like kind of what we expected was going to be exactly what happened. And then in the third round, he had Natividad down. They're kind of against the cage. Natividad's kind of like fishing for a 2-on-1, looking like he's going to go for a Khmer or something. And then, they're scrambling away from the cage, and, Natividad's got his hands down, his eyes down, his chin down, and Miles Johns caught that short uppercut type of punch on him. Really nice punch. Really heavy. I mean, he was out cold, and so it was a really good performance by Johns. Indeed, Natividad did show some glimmers, but he doesn't really have any path to victory that's gonna win him fights. He's a striker that doesn't have a lot of pop. So it was a good performance by Miles Johns. Got the third round knockout, kind of off a scramble, like a standing scramble as they were getting away from the fence.
Yeah. All right, moving into our next fight, we've got Jacoby versus Ledet. Jacoby got Ledet with a brutal KO in the first round. He landed some nasty leg kicks on him, which really wore him out, and then got the KO with punches, I believe, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Jacoby, it's been 8 years since his first appearance in the UFC. He made his first appearance, was gone for 8 years, and now shows back up and just knocks this guy out in the first round. What do you think about this one, Aaron?
It was good. We knew Jacoby would win. I was a little bit wrong. I thought Ledet would be more durable. He did show some nice flashes on the feet. He was landing 1-2 combos on Jacoby, and Jacoby was landing that leg kick. They were kind of going back and forth on that until Jacoby landed that leg kick that got a reaction out of Ledet. He was kind of wincing, and You could tell it hurt him. So then he just started peppering that leg kick a little bit. He actually drops Ledet with the low kick. Ledet gets back up, and he's trying to ground and pound him for a little bit. Ledet pops back up, back against the cage, and Jacoby just starts throwing heavy hands. He caught like a nice straight right, and then a right uppercut, and just absolutely dropped him. So it was a more dominant win by Jacoby than I would have guessed. I was saying that Ledet is not just the knockout victim waiting to happen like everyone thought he was. He did look like that. It was not a good showing by Jacoby, by Ledet. But he was showing some nice just clean technical, very basic striking, the leg kicks, the kickboxing background that we all knew. Jacoby was going to have that edge, and it paid off early. And to his credit, he stuck to it. When you find you got that edge, stick to it, hammer it. And he did. So great job by him. Ledet, I don't know what his contract situation is, but he's not going to be in the UFC long. And Jacoby kind of has a cool new energy and steam behind him after coming back from the long layoff.
Yeah. All right, moving into our next fight, we've got Williams versus Witt. It was a submission in round 2 at 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Jason Witt kind of cut up his forehead with the elbow in round 1, and then submitted him with the arm triangle choke in round 2. Witt was pretty dominant the whole time during this fight. Your thoughts on this one, Aaron?
Yeah, so this was one of the only close-ish fights. Early in the week, people were picking Cole Williams here and there, and we talked about it. He was bigger. He also likes to kind of hold guys against the cage. You thought he might have the striking edge and be big enough and strong enough to fight off Witt's takedowns. After the weigh-ins, we talked about it on the video. We were all in on Witt. He's just, he's got the cardio edge, on a good day when they're both at their best. And after having trouble making weight, Williams was going to struggle. Witt had really cool, walked him all the way across the cage and slammed him. It was good. Yeah. In that second round, he was on mount, just, goes to side control with the arm triangle, just dominant overall. And yeah, as you mentioned, the ground and pound in round 1 was heavy. It was, it was fierce. So great performance. Looking forward to seeing Witt back in there soon.
All right, our next fight is Strickland versus Marshman. It was a unanimous decision. They went the distance, and it was ruled in favor of Strickland. What do you think about this fight, Aaron?
So we called this one really accurately in the fact that we said Strickland was probably going to win and be a low DFS scorer. He was finding cash plays because he was a guaranteed winner. But, at the price tag, you didn't expect him to score, impressively. He's not going to be part of the optimal lineup. So, we were right about that. We kind of said the same thing about Jacoby, and he came out and finished Ledet, in round 1. But Strickland indeed had kind of a low volume, technical point fighting win. Mm-hmm. In the third round, he was, talking to Jack a little bit, saying, "Come on, Jack, let's go," and telling Jack to, throw full power. Just kind of talking to Jack a little bit. Really good performance. I'm sure Sean, coming back from that layoff after the motorcycle accident. Mm-hmm. Great to see him just perform so well. He moved up a weight class, as we know, and he looked right at home there. He didn't look small. So great job by him, and look forward to seeing him again.
Yeah. All right, our next fight is Yanez versus Rodriguez. Yanez knocked out Rodriguez round 1, 2 minutes and 46 seconds in. He had a brutal head kick on him, and it was crazy because this Halloween fight night, and Rodriguez gets back up after this knockout, just all bloody, and starts running across the ring, not even realizing what's happening. The ref stops him and turns him around, and he's clearly confused, like he doesn't realize what just happened. But it was just crazy to me that he got knocked out cold, just stands up and starts running at Yanez.
Yeah, no, it was kind of funny. Great knockout, as you said, great head kick. He had Rodriguez hurt. He was kind of holding the cage. It reminds me of Dave Manet versus Phil Baroni, or Bigfoot Silva knocking out Alistair. he's got his, but instead of just Giannis going wild and throwing a ton of punches like those guys did, throws a 1-2 and then the sickest head kicks. He's catching these hands and then gets the head kick right across the face that just knocks him flying backwards. Yeah. It was really sick. Of course, everyone was on Giannis. He's a 5-1 favorite, but we told you that he was the best DFS play at that heavy price tag. We talked about it during the whole video. All the heavy price tag guys, we said don't play him in DFS. Play Giannis. For a little guy to be like a for sure knockout is kind of rare, but. Rodriguez coming down from Alaska. He looks good. He looks like he's fought real competition until you take a closer look. Giannis he almost has too much hype with the Mini Masvidal thing, but he doesn't need that nickname or that moniker. He's legit. Giannis is really solid, so looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah. All right, our next fight is Grutzmacher versus Hernandez. This was the fastest knockout of the entire prelim card. Hernandez knocked Grutzmacher out round 1 minute and 46 seconds in. What did you think about this one, Aaron?
It was good. We were really heavy on Hernandez, especially after the weigh-ins with Grutzmacher having trouble making weight. Hernandez became like one of the main legs of all parlays. He... just really good striking. Mm-hmm. That uppercut, to finish it was, was really good looking. So not a whole lot to say about it. Grutzmacher is durable, like we talked about. So it's significant. And I was saying that everyone thinks Hernandez is just a huge knockout puncher, but he's really not. I thought his path to victory was to wrestle if he had to, and he could have if he had to, but he didn't have to. I think Grutzmacher missing weight. We need to forget about this fight for both of them. I don't think it was a perfectly accurate representation of their fighting skills or styles, and if this fight happened under normal circumstances. So not taking anything away from Alex. We thought he'd win. We are very impressed because Grutzmacher is better than he seems. He's not a household name, obviously. His losses in the UFC are really good. After the next fight, he's just going to be a huge underdog. His 3 losses are that I can think of are really solid. So he's good win by Hernandez.
Yeah. All right. I hate to even bring up this next fight, Green versus Moises. We lost out on a lot of money on this one. It was a devastating upset, unanimous decision in favor of Moises. Aaron, what do you? I already know what you think about this one, but what do you think about this one?
I'm just mad at everybody. I'm mad at myself. Mad at Bobby Green for going for a Kimura in round 3 and ending up on bottom. Mad at the little Bartachinas in Moises' corner who just scream and yell at every fucking blocked and missed strike. And Bobby Green is showing him. He's like, no, I hit my shoulder. No, I blocked it. Like, bro, just fucking punch knock him out. He came out with heavy pace in round 3 because his corner told him that he needed to win round 3. He went. We knew. I said Bobby Green hasn't been submitted in like a decade. He's been submitted twice in his 38 fights. I said, he's not going to get submitted by Moises. But I didn't think Moises would even be able to take him down. Moises did take him down in the second round and first round. And Bobby Green popped right back up. That actually gave Bobby Green like a lot of confidence. Bobby Green goes for the takedown twice in the fight. And then in that scramble, minute and a half, 2 minutes left in the third round, going for the Kimura, ending up on bottom. Moises ends up holding him there pretty much the whole end of the round. Really disappointing. When you look at the numbers, Bobby Green is putting it on him. Moises barely hit him at all. Moises is backing up the whole time. Moises did not land a single strike. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like he didn't land a single strike when he had Green down. Really just disappointing, but so why I'm mad at myself. Moises is a legit UFC fighter. A lot of these guys who are 3-1 underdog, it's because they're complete cans. Moises is not a complete can. If you think that a fight's going to go to decision, you should just really not trust a 3-1 favorite if you really expect the fight to go to decision. I did think that Bobby Green could knock him out. I said it. Bobby Green by decision seemed like the super obvious prop play, but I thought, especially after Michael Johnson put it on Thiago so bad, I thought Bobby Green could knock him out, and He could, but he's Bobby fucking Green. He doesn't knock people out. He talks to him. He walks down with his hands down. You know, he's like, he just, it's just so disappointing. So mad at myself. We were really heavy on Bobby Green. I feel bad for everyone. You know, I've got buddies who this is the first time betting on fights, and they're like, "Holy fuck, you won so much money on QB." They know that we always slaughter, and this card we predicted so freaking perfectly, except for the fucking corner of Thiago Moises screaming and yelling and swaying the judges.
Yeah.
So I feel really bad for everyone who lost on Bobby Green. Feel bad for Bobby Green, but
it happens.
So that's why we said keep your parlays short. We did some like multiples, like round robins, where we had 10 fights. It's really tempting, and we had some long parlays too. But for like really big chunks, we did round robins. So Bobby Green cost us, but not as much as our straight parlays, obviously. So yeah, I had trouble sleeping. Just so disappointing. We had some, like 20,000 to 1 bets. Like no, not 20,000, like plus 20,000, like 200 to 1 bets, that were all about to cash, and so roof stoof.
It is.
And that's why they build billion-dollar casinos.
Yep.
That's why the Bellagio has...
You win some, you lose some.
Yeah. The Bellagio has such nice fountains that BetMGM stands in front of Bellagio and says, "Hey, bet on BetMGM app."
Yeah.
That's how fucking nice the Bellagio is. So it's not because, it's because of fucking shit like this. So pardon. But I feel bad for all of you, and congrats to Thiago. His striking, in fairness, his striking looked good, right? Like, looked better than we expected. He was coming in there throwing heavy bombs. He was throwing heavy punches. That kind of looks good to the judges, so credit to him.
All right, our next fight is Holland versus Ontiveros. This one kind of scared me. Like any neck injury always scares me. But I did find out today that Ontiveros is okay. They did x-rays and stuff on him at the hospital. He is totally fine. Probably going to be a little stiff for a while. But so Holland obviously took this fight. He had a nasty slam that he gave to Ontiveros. It was a verbal submission, round 1, 2 minutes, 39 seconds in. I don't think I've ever seen a verbal submission before. This might be the first time I witnessed that. It was just crazy. He couldn't even move his arms to submit. He just was saying that his neck hurt. The ref called it. That was a crazy fight. What did you think about that one?
It was. We've seen some verbal submissions like on arm bars and stuff where they can't really like tap, But it is rare, and it's especially rare off a slam.
Right.
There's some people who had Kevin Holland by knockout, and then he slams this guy. He seems like a knockout to you, right? But it's a submission. That's why we talked about it on the breakdown. We were talking about Yanez by knockout versus Yanez inside the distance. You never know when these guys are just going to roll over and give up their neck and get submitted because they don't want to get punched in the face anymore, right? It feels like a TKO, but they end up giving up their back at the last second, getting choked out. So just another, kind of word, word to the wise, like don't get too greedy with your methods and props. Mm-hmm. Also, Ontiveros looked good, right? Like Kevin Holland, Kevin Holland doesn't want to wrestle. Kevin Holland, that he gets hit by that punch and he kind of slips. I wouldn't call it a real knockdown, but then that heavy, axe kick, a crescent kick, just heavy kick from Ontiveros, and you're like, holy shit! We already knew he was huge. He's a huge 170er. He's coming up in weight here. Next time we see Ontiveros fight at 170, his real weight class with the true training camp. He's going to be a big underdog because he was a huge, he just seems like a clown. He verbally submitted from a slam, right? He's a monster. I think he's legit.
I think when you're messing with neck injuries, it's always best to be safe. So
definitely, no, I don't blame him, but I don't blame him at all. It's just you think this guy came in on short notice. He's a huge underdog. Kevin Holland slams the shit out of it. It's easy a couple months from now to just look back and be like, yeah, this guy's a total clown, and whoever he's fighting is a 4-1 favorite all of a sudden. I don't think of course, like the top 15, welterweights would demolish him, but I think he's a fine UFC welterweight.
Yeah.
So
he held his own, until that happened. But, yeah.
And Kevin Holland is amazing, right? I mean, we have a lot of respect for him. Credit to Charles. Comes in, short notice. Glad he's okay. Hope he's okay. Neck injuries and stuff, wrestling, landing on necks and stuff, even like trampoline landing on necks and stuff is dangerous. Mm-hmm. So glad he's all right, and
that's very good that he no serious injury there.
Yeah.
And I do know that Holland also called out Adesanya after this fight. He had a really good matchup, and then because Muradov came down with coronavirus and had to opt out of the fight, he kind of had somewhat of an easy win. I shouldn't call it an easy win, but easier of a matchup than he was expecting. And then he called out Adesanya at the end. He's looking for a real fight here.
Yeah. Adesanya says, Adesanya was calling him crazy, but, there was a time after that kick that I was talking about that landed on Holland where Holland pointed to the corner, and I thought he was pointing to Ontiveros' corner man. He kind of points over there and then goes in there and ends up taking him down. He was actually pointing at Adesanya, apparently, from the post-fight interview, because Adesanya made some, anime sound, when that kick landed.
Huh.
And it's like, so, Holland's beef is that Adesanya always wants to be like, oh, Mr. Holland, talk all night, be respectful. But then he heard Adesanya say, that's the guy I was talking about Holland. So Holland's like, why are you talking about me? Who am I? Guys like Holland, they got to find ways to hype themselves up to,
Yeah.
So I think it's just a little bit of that. It's just a little bit of creating motivation for yourself.
Getting people to talk about it.
Yeah. And he's respectful. There's some guys, he's not just being a total bad, a Chael Sonnen, or just he's not just trying to talk shit to pick a fight. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of that, yes, but I think it's more just for him and just to keep some pepper in the eggs. So
yeah,
I would love to see that fight someday. We all know Adesanya is just he's signed, he's moving up to fight Jan for the 205 belt. He wants to be the double champ. Poor Jan, probably going to be the underdog in that fight like he always is. No respect. Jeez Louise. It is a tough matchup for Jan. Adesanya's going to have the height and reach, but you say, what's the path to victory to beat out Izzy? Obviously, it's a big, strong guy that, not that Jan's known for his takedowns or anything, but you think as far as people we've seen Izzy fight in the UFC, Jan certainly should have the best chance to hold him up against the cage. He's a brick shithouse, as they say, right? So, he's just thick and... So, interesting fight there. Not to talk too much about the Izzy fight, but it's interesting. Just all these middleweights, want to go up and fight Izzy. Not that they want to fight Izzy; they want to fight for the title. I think they all know how good Izzy is, but yeah, who knows what Izzy's future holds. I don't know if he's going to move up to 205 and put on a little bit more weight and like it there. I don't know if he wants to defend both belts and be a true double champ like Amanda Nunes. I don't know what his plans are, so it's interesting.
Yeah, moving on to our next fight here is Green versus Hardy. Hardy took Green out with a knockout in round 2, 1 minute and 12 seconds in. Hardy kind of knocked Green out with a weird little jab, and then Green went down and he just went to town with all the punches until the ref called it. So what do you think about this one, Aaron?
It was a weird jab. It was like an uppercut jab. It was a weird, lead uppercut with nothing on it. I can't believe he...
And it just knocked him cold, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he dropped him. Yeah, he did. But I'm surprised he dropped him. It didn't seem to have anything on it. It was kind of like he didn't see it coming. And it was a weird lead uppercut. And then he's ground and pounding them out. Of course, Maurice Green complained about the stoppage. It was once Greg Hardy kind of got wrist control on him and had Green's right hand isolated, and he was landing in his own right, rights straight up the pipe in the ground and pound. That's when they finally stopped the fight. I think it was a fine stoppage. Maurice Green was not knocked out cold, but he would have been if it went on a few seconds longer. So I think it was a good stoppage. I thought, we said that Green rather, Green was durable. Hardy by decision was kind of a good looking prop play at plus 300, plus 330. Hardy showed that power that we haven't seen since his Contender Series fights. So good performance by him. More allegations came out recently, like this weekend, about him. Not a huge fan, but good performance. Maurice Green, I do think he's a fine UFC fighter. Hardy is solid. But I think, Green is just overmatched here. Green relies on that size and height and stuff. And like we said, Hardy's damn near the same size as him. So tough fight for Green.
Yeah.
Hardy did finish him. That's not surprising to me, but I thought the sneaky, clever play was Hardy by decision. So credit to him for getting the job done.
Yeah. All right. Our co-main event was Bryce Mitchell versus Andre Fili. It was a unanimous decision in favor of Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell basically just used his dominant grappling game the entire fight to win him the decision. Anytime Fili would try to get up, Bryce Mitchell pretty quickly got him back down. Fili did get Mitchell with a nice little jumping knee strike, and it staggered him for a second, but didn't really have any long time payoff there.
Yep. It was a good fight. We thought that Mitchell would win by decision. We said he's not going to cement Fili. We thought that Fili's too exciting of a striker, and there's just too much happening in that small cage that Mitchell wouldn't have his opportunities to drag him down. So there's a lot of what we expected. This is also one of the only difficult fights to pick on the card. A lot of people had Fili. They're looking for an underdog. I get it. Looking back, a lot of people, even like on the on Instagram and the DMs, people are like, "My God, I wish I had just hammered Mitchell at minus 138." Yeah. I get that looking back, but I think we weren't too heavy on this fight. It was pretty much a pass overall. We said that Fili was a fine punt play in DFS, but Mitchell probably wasn't going to score very high in a win. So I think we read it perfectly right overall. Mitchell by decision was a fine method prop play. Of course, after the fight, he goes on an anti-mask, a little, not tirade, but he has a little anti-mask speech in the post-fight interview. That's surprising to some people, but we knew that. At the weigh-ins, he's looks disgusted to have to even have this mask. He's trying to make a point.
Trying to make my eyes not roll to the complete back of my head right now.
Yeah. It's it's not that hard. It shouldn't be a politicized issue. Wearing a mask isn't a selfish thing to keep you from getting sick. It's a selfless thing that cares for others. But anyway.
If you want the economy back up and running, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, the economy wants us to wear masks.
Yes. All right. Anything else to say on the Mitchell Fili thing?
Nope, it was a good fight. Good performance by him. They showed respect afterwards. Fili's tough. Kind of exactly what we expected. It was what a lot of people expected.
Mm-hmm. All right, our main event of the evening that everyone was looking forward to, Hall versus Silva. It was a great fight. I mean, it went long, round 4, minute 24. We were worried about that that bet we placed on was it
4.5? Yeah.
Yeah. And so Hall stopped Silva with the 4th round knockout. There was really nothing but respect there. I mean, just from seeing their interactions with each other after it ended, you could see how much respect there was between both of the fighters. And I love to see that in UFC because even though this shit talking creates a lot of drama, creates a lot of talk, I just love to see that really true respect, and I believe that's what the sport's about. I love to see it. And what do you think about this one, Aaron?
Yeah, well said. That was one of the only concerns about this fight. What we talked about, Izzy has this close decision against Anderson Silva, and everyone's like, oh, maybe Izzy's overrated, and then he goes out there and just knocks out 3 straight opponents. If Hall wanted to, if this fight was only 3 rounds, Anderson wins. Anderson won those first 3 rounds, or at least 2 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's, you know, these fighters give him too much respect almost. So, you know, the under 4.5 rounds, you know, you could play under 1.5, under 2.5, under 3.5. Like, it's tempting to say under 2.5, like, you know, the first half of the fight he's going to win. But it's because of this, you know, exactly what I'm describing. You know, the 4.5 was the perfectly safe level. And he got it done. You know, Uriah Hall throws 11 punches in round 2. It's just frustrating when, you know, when you're betting with the under.
And he kept saying at the end, like, I love you, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, like, he was holding back.
Exactly.
A little bit.
Yep. And he's always gun shy. And we said he's knocked down or bust. If he knocks you down, he wins. If he doesn't knock you down, he loses. I very much look forward to fading Uriah Hall in his next fight, most likely. Don't really think that much of him. So it was a good fight. You know, we saw it exactly correctly. You know, the leg kicks were having an effect, and he like got away from him. He ends up, you know, just a nice kind of clipping right hand that got him down. So you know, it was a tricky one. Like, there's so many variables when these people fight Anderson, and Anderson could just land a front kick, you know, a teep right up the face, right up the middle to the face anytime, you know, he wants. So it's kind of scary. The under 4.5 was the exact right play. If Anderson won, he was going to knock him out. Yeah, we're sweating, but you know, that's why we didn't play under 3.5 or under 2.5. And, you know, we were getting the under 4.5 at even money. Then it started getting steamed. You know, as I mentioned, we were still popping in parlays. After freaking Bobby Green lost, I never do this. I never chase, but ended up putting a ton on Kevin Holland, Hardy, and the under 4.5. Like, way more than I'd ever recommend. It was a kind of irrational decision, but I was very confident in all 3 of those, and they were all very safe. But I never chase. I never, you know, if this person loses, then I'm going to do this. Never, ever, ever do that. But last, you know, I was just so confident in those final fights there. They ended up, you know, going hard on those. So, you know, when we were doing that, the under 4.5 was at minus 125. It was getting steamed. Yeah. But we were on it. We were on it early, and it was the right side. You know, line movement, it doesn't matter. You don't cash tickets by beating the line. You cash tickets by being correct. And so it was a good night overall. Bobby Green, you know, it's gonna haunt us for a while. The Halloween Bobby Green fucking bed shitting, apple pie shitter, as, you know, Cody Saftik would say. Like, I'm just like, if there's a time where Bobby Green's broken down on the side of the road in the snow and I can help him with his tire, like, I might not. And definitely.
Do you remember that night?
Yeah, like
you can stay here stranded.
I know, and and it's silly, you know. He's upset. He lost show bonus, but that's what you fucking get, man.
All right, I think we pretty much covered all those fights there. Let's make sure we get our trivia question.
Yeah, nice. And I wanted to say this week's card is close. There's not a bunch of 4-1 dogs. You know, all the favorites this week got steamed because the Khabib card was so chalk heavy. Now, you know, hopefully this Thiago Moises lesson will keep these lines somewhat close, and our parlays should slaughter this week. Because instead of a bunch of guys at minus 400, it's a bunch of guys at minus 200 or minus 278, like Alexander Romanov. Put Alexander Romanov in your parlays now. Like, get him early. That line's going to move. I think by the time the fight comes, he's going to be minus 330 or so. Wow. And we're getting the video out soon. We're prepping. We've been prepping all weekend. Tomorrow we finish prep. Tuesday we're getting the video out. So we're gonna have the video out nice and early, and then Friday we'll do a quick little update after the weigh-ins, because the weigh-ins are super important. Super important. If it wasn't for the weigh-ins, I might have picked Cole Williams. Like, so
just really shows how the fighters are looking, and yeah.
And there's a lot of also, we got to remember that this is Vegas. We're back in COVID Vegas. There's going to be fight cancellations. It's not like Fight Island where, all the fights actually happen. So
Cancellations all the time.
Yeah.
It seems.
So that bodes well for DFS though, because these lines come out, somebody's going to be a huge favorite, or it's going to be a pick'em fight. There's a lot of pick'em fights on this card, and then they get some no-name opponent. There is 7-1 favorite like Kevin Holland, and he's a good DFS value. We said you had to play Kevin Holland in your DFS lineups. So this volatility is really good for bettors. It's really good for daily fantasy players, but you got to update your research. You got to update your bets, and you got to wait until after the weigh-ins to place your bets.
Yeah.
If we could stress one thing, don't worry about the line movement. Just wait until the weigh-ins to place your bets for real. Mm-hmm. All right, the trivia question is a super cool one. This fighter is going to be fighting, again in the near future, so you'll be able to use this trivia question on your friends and guess. Just please comment below, and you're in the drawing. $25 free bet. My God, we can turn that into a fat ass parlay, or you can just wash it, and, bet on some over under and get $50, whatever. So we can talk about it. We'll give you advice, but $25 free bet on whatever sports book you want. All right, so there are 584 fighters in UFC history that qualify for this. You got to have thrown 500 distance strikes, so not clinch, not on the ground, just 500 strikes, standing, and you have to have had 500 thrown at you. So you gotta have enough volume to have a big enough sample size for this, right?
Right.
So of those 584 fighters who have fought enough, they've had enough strikes thrown, and they've thrown enough strikes, which one has the best margin between their percentage that they land and the percentage that they successfully defend? Out of 584 fighters who have thrown 500 strikes standing from distance and received 500 of the same, which one has the best margin between their accuracy efficiency and their defensive efficiency?
So the best striker per se.
Right, exactly. So as we know, it doesn't take into account level of competition, right? But so yeah, it's according to the math, who's the best striker, who's getting hit, who's hitting and not getting hit, right? So it's pretty cool answer. It's someone who fought on Halloween, so that narrows it down for you. But it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. You can guess. Frankie Edgar, whoever you want. It doesn't matter who you guess.
Yeah.
You're in the drawing.
Yeah, and we will go ahead and announce the answer to that trivia question and maybe the winner to the drawing on the next video later this week.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Yeah, and I guess just on the weigh-ins, we'll do it. We'll do it on the
weigh-ins video,
or on the prediction video Tuesday.
Okay.
Just on the next video, yeah. On the prediction video Tuesday, you guys are gonna want to watch it.
One of the videos this week.
Yeah. On the next one on Tuesday, it's gonna just be the full, Thiago Santos versus Glover Teixeira breakdown. We'll show you the winner, and we'll give you the answer to the trivia question, and we'll probably have another giveaway of that video too.
Yeah.
And everyone who DM'd us, they got the client picks. It was Holland inside the distance, Anderson Silva, Uriah Hall under 4.5. We also, very sorry, we did recommend to have Bobby Green as one of your main 3 legs in your parlays, but we talk all the time about keeping them short, diversifying. If you got 7 fighters you like and you want to put them in parlays, maybe you do all 7 of them for $1 or something, but do a bunch of 2 and 3 fighter parlays. You're going to end up ahead. You're going to end up so far ahead. So just keep your parlays short, and even the Bordachinas and Thiago Moises' corner can't keep you down. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for tuning in with us. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do apologize.
Smash the like.
Smash
Tap
the
the sub like Justin Gaethje, baby.
Yes.
And comment like Chael Sonnen. And like Beat the Bookie UFC, Kendall says, turn on those notifications so you can get your bell rung, baby.
Yeah.
You want to get that bell rung like you're fucking half the guys who got knocked out on Saturday.
And we do apologize for not being able to get that breakdown video for last week's card out to you guys. That won't be a problem in the future, and hopefully you saw it on our Instagram Live. So thank you for watching, and please tune in to our future videos. We'll see you guys in a few days when we break down next week's card. Thank you.